Hello everyone and welcome to another Versus Video Deck Tech. I am BBD joined by
CVM.
And we are going to be battling with some decks from the recent Grand Prix.
Yes, in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
The City of Angels.
City of Angels.
And what do we got today?
Alright, so the deck that I'm battling with is Bradley Nelson, Star City Games' own, his take on Mardu. So this is basically very similar to the red-white deck that he played at the Pro Tour. And also kind of similar to Michael Majors played a very similar deck to this at the Pro Tour as well. And it's kind of the same strategy as like the Jeskai aggro decks, where you're going to play Seeker of the Way and Goblin Rabblemaster, and you're going to use like burn spells and things that kind of tempo your opponent out. But it has a kind of a much different feel to it once you get up the curve. So instead of playing like even more burn spells and dig through times and stuff like that, we have just even more heavy hitting threats. One of the things that I really love about the deck a lot is the combination of Hordling Outburst with both Butcher the Horde and Wingmate Rock and Sorin. So Hordling Outburst, generates 3 goblins. You can use one of those goblins to give your Butcher haste. You can suicide one in to trigger raid on Wingmate Rock, and then they all become 2/1s with lifelink when a Sorin's involved. So there's actually a lot of synergy with all the cards. Also, you have the nice curve of Seeker into Hordling Outburst, triggering the prowess on your Seeker, letting you get in for 3, gain 3.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? So yeah, there's a lot of really cool synergies with the deck. I actually think this deck's really good. I really like a lot that it has to offer.
Yeah.
You still have the option of Rabble Mastering your opponent out of the game too. Rabble Master as well, very good with both Butcher and Rock. The token every turn can be sacked to the Butcher, can attack, pretty much freely to trigger raid on Rock. Just a lot of awesome combinations there between all these cards really. So the deck just has like a ton of the synergy, and it's just backed up by powerful removal spells too. Crackling Doom, Lightning Strike, Murderous Cut, and then Chain to the Rocks, which is actually very powerful here. Only 10 mountains in the deck. There's 6 mountains and 4 Bloodstained Mires, so I could see running into a couple scenarios where you're like a mountain short and $1 late, or however the saying goes. But
yeah, I think that the reward that you're getting out of playing the card is overweighs the risk.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I really like that he doesn't have a full 4 chained here. And in the Pro Tour deck, they played 4 Chain to the Rocks, 11 mountains, and I would much rather be on 3 and 10 than 4 and 11.
I agree with that. 3 and 11 is probably the optimal.
But the times where you get to just go like Chain Rabblemaster or Chain Butcher or Chain Sorin just seem like very, very good turns.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of interaction is just literally off the chain. Yeah, so, yeah, like Chris is saying, like a turn 4 Chain plus Rabblemaster is just like a big old beating.
Or even just like Chain Hordling Outburst.
Yeah, or even just like Chain past turn.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, this is the main deck for the Mardu, I guess, midrange deck. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, why not? Everything's midrange these days, so.
I mean, that's true. Like, unless your deck has, like 12 Jackal Pups in it and a Cursed Scroll, you're probably midrange.
Yeah, so. Anyway, Mardu midrange. Let's go ahead and look at the sideboard. Alright, so this sideboard is a little all over the place, you could say, but there is one kind of defining theme, and that is morphing into a control deck, basically. So you have the option in some matchups to be able to morph into this control deck where you bring in Angers and Hostilities, Elspeths, along with like Read the Bones and Banishing Lights and things like that, and you can just turn into like a Mardu control deck.
Yep.
And I don't know that strategy is actually that good. However, the one advantage that it has to it is that your opponent's not going to expect that. So your opponent might be siding in like extra removal spells because they want to kill your Butchers and things like that. But if you're bringing in all these other cards like Elspeths, like, they're, I don't know, Stoke the Flames or Bile Blights or whatever are going to be much less good. Like those cards, like they still do things against Elspeth, but
yeah, they're not.
They're not at the end
all.
They're
not one for one in you like they want to do.
Exactly.
My big problem with this particular sideboard that he played for the Grand Prix is that at the Pro Tour they played a 26th land in their sideboard to bring in with the Elspeths, and it's noticeably missing here. So
I noticed.
I'm curious to find out from Brad why they did that.
Yeah,
or why he did that.
That's a very good point. I actually noticed the exact same thing. I felt like you wanted the 26th land. They have Read the Bones as kind of a land proxy. You can read the bones and just dig into the lands you need.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree. I feel like the 26 land is definitely noticeably absent here. And then past that point, these cards are just all useful removal spells. Really, there's no surprise cards in the sideboard or anything like that. One card that I do really like is Ash Cloud Phoenix. I kind of would like to see that somewhere in the 75, but I guess maybe there's just no room for it.
Yeah, it just kind of sits on Butcher is the problem.
Yeah, literally it just sits on them.
Just right on top.
Yep. But it is actually very good with end hostilities too, though. That's one thing that Ash Cloud Phoenix plays defense very well, especially against cards like Stormbreath Dragon that could sometimes be a problem for this kind of a deck. And then you can mop up the guys with end hostilities and keep your Phoenix around. But yeah, there's definitely probably some space concerns for that. At any rate, I think this deck looks pretty sweet. I have no idea how I'm supposed to sideboard with it, but we'll just go on the fly and hopefully figure that out. But I'm excited to battle with it against CVM and his
Green-Red Monsters.
Oh,
we won a
wow.
Grand Prix, boys, so we got to run it back.
Yep, running it back for the third ETH time.
Yeah,
30th time.
Just
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. All about those monsters.
Might as well. If Zindigos is going to keep winning tournaments, I'm just going to keep playing the card in these videos.
Yeah, why not?
Although I keep losing, so maybe, who knows. Let's battle.
It's all part of the plan.